The day could not have been any more beautiful. The South African sun shone brightly through the puffy clouds as our guides Willem and Scott unloaded the boat into the crystal clear water. My family and I were preparing ourselves for a fishing trip on the Pongola Port Dam located just south of the border of Swaziland. The dam was not only a body of water but also a nature reserve where all types of wildlife roamed freely. Squinting my eyes and looking across the glass-like surface, I could see little white specks that looked to be zebras. Instantaneously, my heart began to race as a small dose of adrenaline filled my veins. Once the boat was finally ready, my family and the two guides hopped on and quickly trolled out to the middle of the dam. Sitting on the front of the boat, I could see the bow cutting through the still water like a knife through warm butter. My mom, loaded with her camera, could not stop snapping pictures as the boat ventured farther into the African water. On our way out to the middle of the dam, our guides told us stories upon stories about different types of catfish and tigerfish caught throughout their years on the boat. However, their stories were frequently interrupted by sprays of water coming from the hippos emerging just a few feet away. The sprays would fall into our skin but would quickly be dried off by the warm morning sun. The dam seemed to continue on forever, as did the wildlife that was scattered across the banks of the water. Every animal one could imagine, from zebras and impalas to wildebeest and rhinos, would cautiously meander around the shoreline, wary of the crocodiles lurking in the shallow depths. It was as if we were on a boat floating through a Lion King movie. For every which way I turned, another animal would appear. Never in my life had I ever experienced something so exceptional and unique. Finally, we were in the middle of the dam and it was time to bait our hooks. With the anticipation growing of pulling in a monster, my brother and I began trash talking one another, joking about who was going to catch the bigger fish. Using golf ball sized pieces of zebra fillet as bait, my brother and I both cast it out into the water. Well, at least one of us did. My brother, being himself, caught his hook on the awning of the boat and tore a hole in the roof. Once that issue was resolved and both our lines were finally out in the water, Scott started up the boat. We trolled around the dam with our reels docked to the edge of the boat in order to entice the fish with our delicious bait. While we sat there waiting for fish to bite, a sense of extreme joy overcame my body. As I sat in the boat with the sun shining and wind blowing in my hair, I internally stepped away from reality and became filled with deep thought. I wondered, how many people are able to enjoy such an experience my family and I were having? How many people are able to sit on a boat without a cloud in the sky and troll through the beauty of South Africa? I felt like one of the luckiest kids on earth. Snapping out of my daydream with the screaming sound of a fishing reel, I quickly ran to my rod. The line was moving furiously like a whale caught the hook and began swimming to the center of the earth. With extreme excitement, I began to reel as fast as I could. Little did I know that I was in for the battle of my life. The fish continuously pulled against me as I tried desperately to reel it in. The thrill grew greater and greater with every spin of the reel. The battle lasted about 20 minutes, and before I knew it, a 3-foot catfish was flopping violently on the deck. Acting quickly, I dropped to the floor and grabbed the fish by its bottom lip in an attempt to pick it up. 25 pounds of flopping fish is a lot harder to control than one would think. After finally gaining control of the monster, I posed for some pictures and put it in the icebox, with my mouth watering as I knew what was for dinner that night. After heckling my brother that I caught the first fish and that all he caught so far was the roof of the boat, I sat back down with a smile from ear to ear. After my adrenaline rush subsided, I continued to reflect on the day and the experience I had. I realized that not everyone is able to travel to the other side of the world with their family to enjoy a 2-week vacation. Not only on this trip, but throughout my entire life, I have always tried to treasure every precious moment with my family. Whether it is a trip to South Africa or a casual boat ride, every little experience should be lived out to its fullest. It is not always the big moments in life that will be the most cherished, but the little ones that will forever be preserved.